Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Made Podcast. I'm your host, Chloe Trca, and if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, sorry I didn't have an episode last week. I have just been so present with my family. I've had family visiting for over a week, like 10 days. My brother was in town with his girlfriend. It was just such a good weekend. And one thing that I've really learned and have been focusing on recently is just the power of community and being so present with the people in my life, because I truly feel so blessed and so grateful for my life right now. God is just continually opening new doors for me, opening up and just introducing me to the right people. He's placing me in all the right rooms, and it's so cool. But I've realized it's all thanks to the people in my life and the power of community. And so when I'm with these people, I just understand the importance and the richness that it brings to my life and to theirs. And I've never been happier. And I'm that is why, because of the people in my life. So when I'm with them, I'm just so present, and it's harder for me to want to pull up my camera and vlog or take the time to podcast. My intention was to actually have my older brother, Anthony. If you're not new here, you definitely know who he is. He's one of your guys' favorite guests in the episode. I wanted him on so bad, but I just prioritized just spending time with them, because we had 7 people staying in my house because my parents are also in town. And I just wanted to also be present with the whole family, rather than just excluding and having to make them all go somewhere and whatever. But I'll definitely get him on the episode. I'm going back home in June and July, so I'll get him on then, and then I might even do a Zoom one with him. But if you guys really want him on, let me know, message me. But that's why we didn't have an episode last week. I had all the intentions to do it. It just never got done. But I'm really excited because I'm very motivated. I'm very inspired. I'm ready to go for this week's episode. And again, it always just comes from my heart. It's what I've have been learning the past week. And now that it's been 2 weeks, I feel I've learned so much, and so much has been placed in my heart, and I've had so much clarity. And again, everything happens for a reason. I don't know what I would have talked about last week, but now I'm in a really good position this week to talk about what I want to share with you guys. And that is really just the power of not even the power, I don't want to say the power, but just learning to become comfortable being uncomfortable with ourselves. I have realized that my biggest critic, my worst enemy, is my own self. I'm a fairly confident person, and people would always be like, Chloe, you're so confident, you can use social media, I can talk to a camera, I can talk to you guys, I can take photos in public, I can vlog in public. That takes a lot of confidence within myself, because I truly don't care what others think, but I care what I think so much, and that has stopped me from so many things in my life. It's really limiting me, and I've really, really realized how much of a negative impact it's making on my life, because I feel I share a lot on here with what's going on in my life and all of that, and you guys all know I am seeing somebody right now, and I'm not yet ready to share that side with the public. I cannot wait. I've been showing you so many subtle hints, and it makes me so excited, but it's still something so new and fresh that I want to kind of prioritize that and just allow that to blossom into its own thing before I share it with you guys. I just want to nurture it before I explode it to the internet. But he's taught me so much in my life, and it's so cool to see, because I do think it's so important that the people in your life are bringing value and making you a better person and pushing you. And I literally prayed for that, you guys. In my prayers, I prayed for somebody to push me out of my comfort zone, make me a better person, inspire me, motivate me. And he does all these things. And it's funny, because when you pray for things, God delivers, and it's not always necessarily in ways you want. And at first, you guys, I've realized how uncomfortable I am doing a lot of things that shouldn't make me uncomfortable. And it's not because I fear that he'll judge me or think it's weird. I know he would love it. For instance, dancing. He's a big, funny, goofy, silly guy, and he likes to dance and sing a lot. And I have gotten a lot more comfortable singing. My best friend, Taylor, if you guys follow me, you know who she is. I lived with her in Iowa. Me and her were inseparable for a year and a half, the last year and a half before I left. And I was never a big singer. I was insecure. I was self-conscious. I wasn't confident. I'm not a good singer. I'm terrible. And I've realized repeatedly, there's a lot of different instances in my life that I don't like doing things because I'm embarrassed of my own self. I know no one's oh God, Chloe's so terrible at singing. It's not I'm up there performing thinking I'm doing well. No one has these high expectations for me to be good at singing, but I'm embarrassed because I'm not good at it. And I've realized that just stems from I've always been pretty good at what I do. I've always gotten really good. I've never been I don't know, amazing at anything, but in sports growing up and stuff, I was always like above average, and in grades, I was always above average, and I always just like excel. And if I don't, then I like avoid. And it's causing a lot of these like uncomfortable situations now that I'm an adult and I'm meeting other people and I want to grow and become a better person, that I'm pushing myself into more of these situations where I'm uncomfortable, and I hate it, but I love it at the same time. So meeting this guy, he's super silly, goofy, funny, and I'm a kind of more closed, shy person. And I don't love that about myself. Like I want to like break out of my shell. I feel like that's what I'm trying to figure out, is how to do that more. And just be more myself and not care what I think of myself, because it isn't what other people think. That's what I've realized, because I'm always saying, I don't care what other people think. And I was on a run and I was like, am I a fraud for saying that? Like, am I lying? But it's like, no, I genuinely don't care what other people think. I just care so much about what I think about myself. And it's like, that's weighing on me poorly. Like, we are our biggest enemy, our worst critics. Like, nobody's stopping us but ourselves. Like, we are our biggest limitation. And I'm limiting myself in so many ways, because I'm like, if I'm not good at it, I don't want to do it because I don't want to be embarrassed. And it's like, why do I care? This is like therapy for me, just like speaking, but it's like, it stopped me for so many things. And one of the things is just like being funny, silly, goofy, dancing. Like, I've never been one to just like openly dance in front of people unless I'm like under the influence. When I'm drunk, I don't care. I go out there and it's so much fun to dance and sing with my friends. And anyway, it brings me back to this example the other night. Me and this guy are going to a wedding coming up, and like, you have to dance at a wedding. Like, you got to do, what's it called? Like swing dancing and all that kind of stuff. And oh, when I tell you, I found this out and I wanted to scream, throw up, cry. Like, that is so uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm not dancing, especially in front of all of the people I don't know. It's all of his friends. It's his friend's wedding. Like, I'm just like attending. Like, I don't know anybody. It's in a different state. Like, I'm so excited because I'm so excited to like travel with him. Love weddings, but I'm like, I don't like dancing. And I'm beyond the point where it's like, I'm not going to sit there and rely on alcohol to break me out of my shell. Like, I'm not going to do that. Will I have a drink? One, maybe at dinner. I don't even know. Like, I'm not saying I won't, but I'm not saying I'm gonna. Like, I'm not relying on getting drunk to go dance, because that's what I've done at a wedding before. And then I got super drunk and it was like stupid, and I'm not proud of that, and that's not who I am anymore. So it's like, I'm not relying on alcohol, but it's like, okay, I guess I got to rely on myself and like accept the fact that I'm gonna look weird and stupid, but no one cares besides me. And another thing this guy taught me, and this really stood out to me, and I think this is what like kind of cued all of these thoughts and all of this like awareness on the situation, is because he was like, you always have to like lighten the camera, shine on yourself. And I think we all do this. And this was like, whoa, like, I feel like there's always room to improve, but I felt like I was in a pretty good position with myself until he said this. And I was like, you know what? I have shoved this down and avoided this so much. But he's like, you think like the camera's always on you, or like the light's always on you. Because I hate attention. I don't want that on me ever, because I care about what I think. I would be more comfortable if I didn't think anyone was looking. And I don't know, but that doesn't really make sense. I guess I just don't really like attention. But then again, I can talk to a group of people. So I don't think it's that. I think it's, I don't like my own attention on myself. Like, I don't like to be so self-aware sometimes. I'm overly self-aware, but I'm getting off track. What I was saying is, he mentioned that I need to quit doing that as much. He's like, just enjoy the moment. Like, don't assume that it's all on you, because it's not. And I think we all think that. All think we're like the main character. And it's not like an ego thing. It's like an insecurity thing. And I was like, you're so right. Because he's like, you're stopping yourself from so many things. Like, you could just let loose and have fun, and everyone's going to see you and think like you're having fun, you're enjoying it. Like, they're not going to judge you. People are probably more judgmental when I'm like closed off and look awkward and weird and not dance, than if I look stupid, silly, and goofy and just had fun. So it's like, why am I not just having fun? And again, it reverts back to myself and my own issues that I got to work through. And so that's something I'm really trying to work on, is like become better at putting myself in these situations, because I've realized the more reps you get and the more comfortable you get, you realize it's really not that bad and it's not a big deal, and you've been stressing and worrying and being concerned about issues that aren't issues. Again, this is another dumb example, but also this wedding is a country wedding, okay? And he was like, you gotta get boots. And I have never worn cowgirl boots in my entire life, you guys, like never. And I'm like, I look so dumb in cowgirl boots. I have big calves. If you guys follow me, you know my physique, you know my calves, like they're thick. And so I've always hated boots because I thought they make my calves look so big. And like the boots will like fit, some boots like fit my calf, and it's not flattering. So I've always avoided boots because I was insecure wearing them. And I was like, you know what, Chloe, just try them on, like see what you think. So I went shopping with a girlfriend like last week for this wedding, so I have to find a dress. I was gonna try on some boots and see, because I'm like, he really wanted me to wear these boots. I think cowgirl boots are adorable. I just didn't think they looked cute on me, so I just avoided. But I went to Free People, found these boots. They're white, they're adorable, they're so cute. I put them on, and everyone in the store was like, those are so, like, you need to buy them. And again, they're probably pushing sales, but there's also, and I think God places everyone in your life, like, for a reason. But there was this mom and her daughter in, like, the dressing room, and this mom was saying how much she loves cowgirl boots. She's a huge boot person. And it was so sweet because she was, like, hyping me up in these boots. She's like, you look amazing, they're so cute, your legs look great. I put my little dress on that I bought from a different store, like, in the dressing room to, like, see the outfit, and it was so cute. And she like boosted my confidence, and it was just like a really good experience. So I bought the boots, so expensive, literally like $300 boots. I'm like, oh my God, what did I just do? But then it was funny because literally like the next day or 2 days later, I went to this thing it's in Arizona. It's a really popular, swing dancing is so common here. And I hate that because it's like, I hated it at first, but now I love it because it's going to force me to do this stuff, and like line dancing and all that. But it's called Buffalo Chip. It's a rodeo. It's a big country event. And everyone's in their cowgirl boots, all this stuff. Anyway, with my family in town, we all went. It was a big family event. I brought him, my brother came with his girlfriend, Jake brought somebody. Like, it was so much fun. But I was like, I need to wear these cowgirl boots. Like, I need to wear them. I need to get used to it. I need to get a rep in and become more comfortable seeing myself in them, wearing them, like, get past that, like, insecurity, that weird blockage that I've created with these. And I did it, and I realized it wasn't that bad. Like, they were really cute, and they were pretty comfy, and I, like, kind of had fun. Like, I loved it. Like, I felt like I was country, you know? And I'm like, okay, it wasn't that bad. And so it's like, I need to just continue wearing them before this wedding to, like, get the reps in. But again, it, like, transpires in every other aspect of my life in areas that I'm uncomfortable. Like, another one at church, a lot of, like, if you've seen, like, when you worship, people put their hands up and they, like, sing and stuff. And that's a process. That's a process of just, like, growing your faith and growing closer with Jesus. And I'm not saying you can walk in the first day and do it, but I've been going to church now for, like, consistently for, like, 2.5, 3 months, like, since mid-January. So, yeah, about 3 months. And I would say about a month. Jake is really good at this because Jake can just, like, force himself to do something even if he's uncomfortable. He's better at it. And I think that's a person who inspires me to do this stuff more as my little brother. It's really crazy how much you can learn from, like, your younger siblings. But he does it, and it's, like, inspired me to do it. And, like, I used to just kind of, like, I'm very closed off. Again, like, I don't want to put my hands up. I feel like I'm drawing so much attention to myself. But I'm like, so many people have their hands up, and every person I see with their hands up, I'm like, dang, I wish I could be like that. Like, that's inspiring. They're so into it. They're so close with Jesus. But then you think about it, and it's like, I guarantee you probably, like, 6 out of 10 of those people are, like, kind of fighting, you know, the urge to, like, put their hands down. Like, it's scary at first. But they have the reps. They have the consistency. The ones who aren't scared, they were probably scared at one point too. So it's like, you just have to fight that and get used to it and adjust, because problems essentially can be fixed by habits. We have to find a solution for that habit, and habits are formed through consistency. And so it's like, I gotta get consistent with doing this stuff and putting myself in these situations. Every time I put my hands up at church, I'm more comfortable, and I get so into the worship. I'm, like, so embedded in it. And honestly, one thing I've learned about myself, and Jake and I were talking about this on my run yesterday, he's like, sometimes Chloe, just close your eyes and close out the world and just be so with yourself. And I think that's the thing is, it helps me, but it's also so scary because then I'm really with myself. And again, like I've been saying, I think my biggest critic is myself, but it does help me. If I just put my hands up and I close my eyes and I can just, like, pretend like I'm the only person in the room, it helps. Because I could do that in a room alone, I think. I think I'm just insecure in the sense of, like, I'm so new in the church, and this isn't a good thing. Like, everyone's walk with faith is at a different speed, at a different rate. No one's ever, there's not, like, a finish line to your journey with Christ. So it's like, you shouldn't be acting like you're not Christian enough to be able to do stuff like that. That's just something I had to work through and understand at first, and I want you guys to know that. But it's like, I don't know, I feel like when I'm around all these Christians who I in my mind, and this is such a, like, the enemy working against me, is, like, me thinking they're further along, so, like, they're better at it, better at worshiping. Like, it's a me with God moment. It's not a level. There's nothing to achieve and unlock, you know. But I got to get past that, and I've gotten better. But again, it's like, the more I do it, the easier it gets. And so I've just gotten better at putting myself in those situations and, like, forcing myself to do the things that are uncomfortable, because I do, in the long run, I have been, like, realizing how not scary it is and how confident I do feel and how much joy it brings me and all of these things. I've just really realized too, it's like, the enemy is working hard, you guys. Like, God is never gonna, like, want me to not worship at church. Are you kidding me? But the enemy doesn't want that. So obviously he's creating anxiety and all these thoughts in my mind and these, like, insecurities to, like, withhold me from all of that. And, like, you know how much joy you have dancing and singing around? Well, no wonder Like, God wants me to have fun. God wants me to be dancing and singing and having fun with my friends. And the enemy doesn't want that, obviously. So he's going to make me feel insecure and self-conscious and do all this stuff. So he's putting all these thoughts into my head. So having to like differentiate that and understand like that's where it's stemming from is making it a lot easier. Because I always like, I kind of look at it as like, it's going to be so hard to refrain, or God wants us to do these things, okay? Because he knows like the abundance it can bring, the joy it can bring, how amazing life can be doing all these things, but the enemy's trying to stop that. So it's like the things that you're probably stopping yourself from and have the most issues and struggles with will create the most potential and happiness in your life. Like those are the greatest things, but the enemy's working so hard to hold that from you, you know? So it's like you really have to lean in and tap into those things, because they'll probably, when you get on the other side of it, be the best thing that ever happened. And that is like, so like there's so many examples in my life that I've like realized that, like even communication and having some of those conversations that you're so scared of and you let like build up because you're scared of the what ifs. One thing that I've learned is with communicating with people and like being vulnerable and open and sharing your thoughts and feelings with friends, family, significant others, anybody, it's like if you don't communicate, you're just allowing those thoughts and those anxious anxieties to build up, and it's not solving any solutions. But if you just talk about it, even if you fear, like, what if they don't want to be my friend? What if they think I'm wrong? What if something bad happens? It's like, well, then that's God's plan. That's what was supposed to happen. And that's the way for you, like it needed to end after that conversation. But if those thoughts and feelings are in your mind and body, they need to be said at a point, like they're there for a reason. So you need to express that. And the right person, the right friend, the right family member will react the way they're supposed to it, you know? So it's like, you shouldn't fear the outcome because you should trust God's plan. That's a word. That's a word, you guys. And again, that's another thing I've had to learn, because it's like when you communicate, it usually solves most problems. Like good, effective communicators, mature people will understand that. Sorry, I'm talking like so fast. There's just so many thoughts in my mind, and these are all like very big lessons I've learned in the past like week. And it's so crazy because I feel like, again, it was like the struggle, and then I experienced it, and then I like saw the other side of it, and it's like, wow, like it all always stems back to like my faith in God. But then again, it's like, it's the enemy versus him and the Lord and God and all the goodness and all of like the evil, you know, like you have to like be able to like decipher the two. And I feel like if you can do that, it makes decisions and situations a lot better. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of frustrating, hard situations that I'm still working through, you know, like there's things that I'm still not good at, but like I get better. Like the other day we were literally, me and this guy, it was so funny. He tried to teach me to dance. He put his little cowboy hat on because this is like a country wedding. And he's like trying to teach me to dance. Like he's taking classes, guys. Like he's good at this. Like he knows what he's doing. I do not. I have no rhythm at all. And again, that's always what I told myself. And that's what always I said. I'm like, I'm a bad dancer. I have no rhythm. I can't keep a beat. Like I'm stiff, but it's also because I'm like nervous and anxious. And I like kind of make myself like that unintentionally. But he was like teaching me how to do it. And like, I literally wanted to crawl to my skin, but I'm like, why? He's literally so loving this. Like he's having so much fun. He's teaching me how to do this. I'd rather look like bad and be an uncomfortable and an idiot in his apartment when no one's around than like at the dance floor at the wedding. You know, like I want to be able to bust a move and have fun and not have to worry about it. So it's like, get the reps in, get the practice in. Like it helps, you know, like nobody in sports is a professional after their first rep. Like, you know how many thousands of reps that baseball players get, soccer players get, track runners get, cheerleaders, dancers, like you know how many freaking reps it takes to like build consistency and like be able to be proficient at it and then also be good at it. Like thousands of reps. So it's like, don't expect yourself to be good at something right away. That's just not the way it's gonna go. And like it even stems back to like this Sunday when I said like we had family over and we were all like hanging out. My community, like my complex where I live, has like a pickleball court and a basketball hoop and a sand volleyball court, and we were like literally had like a sports day. It was so fun. And pickleball is huge in Arizona. I think it's huge everywhere, but like Iowa, it's like just becoming a thing. Arizona, I think it's been a thing for a few years. So everyone here has gotten in the hundreds of reps with pickleball. Everyone's played. Me, I've played 3 times in my entire life, and the first one was terrible. It was with Jake. I was so bad. I'm like, this is not for me. I don't want to do it. Again, I don't like being bad at stuff. I don't like looking unathletic, uncoordinated. Like I'm not unathletic and uncoordinated, but I am when I'm starting a completely new sport. Like I don't pick it up right away, and I'm just not confident because I'm telling myself I'm bad, so I play even worse, you know? So then me and this guy one day we were playing before I went to Miami. He was trying to teach me how to do it, and I was like kind of throwing a fit because I was so bad. I was also stressed because my flight was like in an hour and I needed to get in a workout for the 75 hard. And I was just not doing good. So there's a lot of stressors, but like it was funny, but it was like I was kind of throwing a fit. And then I came back and we played again and I was like a little better. And then with my family and my friends, like I wasn't great. Like I was probably the worst on the court, but like I was better than I was the time before, and it was becoming fun and I was enjoying it more. So you have to be patient with stuff and like trust the process and understand like you're not going to get better until you try. Like you're not just going to be amazing at something. Some people are naturally good at things, but again, like when they started to where they are now, like think how much they've still improved. So it's like you can improve in every area of your life, whether it's a silly little pickleball game or it's dancing in front of people or putting your hands up at church or talking on a camera to thousands of people, or I don't know what it is. Like we all have there's multiple issues that we all like deal with in our day-to-days, and they're all probably different, some the same, but it's just so important to like understand that you have to lean into those things, and the only thing that's going to help it is by doing it, and getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And for me, it's being comfortable being uncomfortable with myself, and I think that's something I'm still working on. Like I'm sure I'll make another episode on it the more I learn about this, because this is a pretty new like discovery about myself, and it's something I'm now working on. But like again too, I'm like the type of person who I love self-improvement. I love a little game, a challenge, and like after discovering like a problem and an issue, it's like I get really excited to like combat that and like face it and deal with it and get through it. And I think that's one of my favorite things about myself, is because I don't necessarily just like want to throw in the towel, even though that's like the easy thing to do. But like anything easy isn't really worth having, or things that like are easy to come by aren't necessarily the best, like all the hard things are worth it because they're hard for a reason. They're hard to obtain, or everybody would do it. So yeah, you just have to have like your why. And like I don't think that you should do anything for other people, but you can definitely utilize them as like inspiration and motivation. And again too, it's like going to the wedding and dancing. I'm doing it less for myself and more for him, because I want him to have a good time. Like I want him to have fun on the dance floor. I don't want my insecurity holding back the fact that we can't go dance and like ruin the night. You know what I'm saying? So it's like utilizing that, like it's easier for me to do things for other people sometimes than do it for myself. So if you can trick your mind into doing that, even, I don't know if that's good or bad. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm going to try that and it's working. But a lot of it, you guys, it's just like you versus you, like in your own mind. And it can be so hard to combat that too, because it's hard, but like talking about it too, you guys, like even me talking to you guys is like therapeutic and good. And like having those conversations with people, your best friend, your mom, your sibling, your significant other, like whoever, they're there to help. And they probably see that stuff through you. Like you'd be surprised, at least the really good, close people that you should have in your life should like see these things and notice these things. Like literally this guy's the one who pointed this out to me, and I'd only known him for like a month. I'm like, oh God, like they're seeing all these like bad things, but it's not like he's sitting there picking me apart. He just wants me to be the best version of myself. And he sees potential in me and growth in me, and that's so cool to like know people care to that level. And like I do the same for him. Like there's things that I help him out with, and that's like I think how like healthy friendships and relationships work. Like you should always be helping each other out and bettering each other and pushing each other, and be able to have those awkward, uncomfortable conversations. Like it's not like he wanted to offend me, but at first like I shut down. Like when I don't want to talk about something, I just kind of go quiet because I don't know what to say, and I don't want to stir up emotions. But again, that's another thing I have to work on, is just like working through those emotions at first. But yeah, you guys, like there's so much I want to tell you, like, and I feel like I've told you most of everything I'm thinking right now, but there's just so many cool things like evolving and happening in my life. And it's all because, one, I trust the process, I stay consistent, and I'm patient, and like I have self-control in areas that I didn't used to, and God is blessing me. And another thing too is like once I kind of gave it up to the Lord and I just trusted him and accepted like that he has a plan, and I trust in his plan, and I do everything in honor of him and for him, like he will bless me. Like God is always, he's like your biggest cheerleader. He's doing everything for you. He wants you to be loved and happy and all of that, but you also have to like follow him and live life for him and through him, because it's a way of protection and it's a way of living your best, like happiest, healthiest life, and I feel like I've really recently done that, and like God has just brought me so many cool opportunities. Like for example, I wanted to tell you guys, if you see my set, if you're watching, this is Young LA, and Young LA is like a brand I've always wanted to work with. I've done a one-off deal with them like 9 months ago. And now I'm like partnered with them, and I'm like working with them for a few months as like a trial, seeing how I fit with them, how they fit with me. It's kind of like the test. But it's such a cool opportunity. And it's like, if I would have been granted that opportunity a year ago, I would not be confident in it. It would have been fed through ego. It would have just not been like, I'm not the same person I was before I moved here. And now it's like, I'm so much more proud of the content that I'm making. I put more effort, like I have so much more support and so much more creativity and other people helping me. And I'm just in a much like better position. I wouldn't have wanted it then. And I didn't understand it back then. I was like, why don't they want to sign me? Like, why don't they want to give me a shot? But now they reached out to me, and it was like the perfect time. And I'm like, okay, now this is the time. And I'm so glad that God placed the opportunity back into my life when I needed it. And again, it's like, you're not going to understand it in the moment, but like when it happens, it's going to be like, whoa, I see why he did what he did. And that's just one example. So if y'all want to support me, this is the scuba like sweatsuit. I'm obsessed with it. The green color is adorable. And you can use code Chloe for 15% off. But like, seriously, you guys, like the support when you use my code, like I appreciate it so much, because it not only like I do make commission off of it, that's part of my job, that's part of my income, but like it also supports me in my ability to continue working with brands. And like right now, I'll be honest, like I'm on a trial with Young LA. Like I have to prove to myself that I can like create good content for them, promote things, like generate sales. Like it's a sales position, like as affiliates, like that's how it works. And so like you guys utilizing my code supports me, and I have to meet certain like deliverables and standards to like continue working with them. So it does mean a lot, but it's a brand that I freaking love. Like it's so cool. I'm so proud to wear it. And it like inspires me in every other area of my career, because it's like, okay, I did accomplish that, and it motivates me to want to continue accomplishing things like that. God is just placing so many cool opportunities in my life, and I truly give it all to him. And it's like, I like trust in his timing of everything, and like the people in my life and stuff. It's really, really cool to like unfold and unsee all these opportunities and things that are coming to me. And it's just makes me so freaking happy. Like it really, really does. Okay. Anyway, I just Instacarted. Okay. Side note, if you're listening to this, I just Instacarted Jake in, the guy I'm talking to. They're together for this like whole seminar thing all weekend, and they had like no groceries. So I Instacarted them food, and the Instacart guy just got there. And I just sent them so much food, and I wanted to make sure they were eating it. like I sent them so much food. Anyway, but it's cute. See, I just like love, it's so fun. It's so fun doing that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's my love language. Instacarting groceries to people's house. I'm just kidding. No, I'm actually not kidding. But anyway, I am just so grateful for life and like the timing of everything. And again, you guys, like there's so many highs and lows in life, and I like right now I'm in such an abundance point in my life, and I'm so grateful, and I'm so happy, and I'm so blessed, and so much good is happening. But like I want you to also understand, like there's also a lot of low moments, and like there's also a lot of like bad moments I still have in like in every area of my life, like with me and my body image, me and my like self-doubt and like I don't believe in myself all the time, and I get anxious and I get nervous. But it's like I've learned to be able to turn a lot of those negative emotions into positives, because I trust God and I pray about it, and God answers your prayers, you guys. He really, really does. And he wants you to talk to him, and he wants you to pray for him. And another thing I've learned too is to not just pray and ask for things, which you should do, because that's what God is there for. He wants to answer your prayers and stuff. But also be aware that when you pray and you ask for something, he's gonna deliver. But it's going to be kind of like through a process and a test, and it's not necessarily going to be comfortable and amazing all the time. Like if you pray for, say you pray for like your husband, and you're dating a guy and you're praying for like him to be your husband, and he's not meant to be your husband, God is going to pull that man out of your life. He's going to remove him, and it's going to feel like heartbreak and terrible. And you're going to be like, why is this happening? This isn't what I prayed for. But you have to remove what's not meant for you to make room for what is meant for you, you know? So you have to like trust that kind of process. And that's just one example. But it's like a lot of times I think we pray, and then you almost get like the opposite of your prayer, and you're so confused, and you're like, what is going on? But it's like, those are necessary steps to be taken in order to get what you're actually praying for. And it's like, what God intends for you is so much greater than you can even imagine. And it's like so beautiful, and like gives me so much peace to think about that, because it's so true. And like in the position I'm now, like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine like 5 months ago to think I am where I am. And so it's like so exciting to think about where I can be in 5 more months if I keep doing what I'm doing, and I keep praying, and I keep worshiping, and I keep going to God, and I keep doing the things that need to be done, you know? But anyway, I just want probably to wrap it up here, because I don't want to talk for too long. And that's essentially what I wanted to say. I feel like it's good to wrap it up here. That's like literally what I wanted to say. And again, too, I wanted to also mention, actually, before I wrap this up, I, on Instagram, started a broadcast channel, and it's essentially an extension of my podcast. So it's going to be like a daily tip, reminder, advice, challenge, and it's just going to be topics, a lot of similar stuff that I talk about on here. I don't know why I've never started a broadcast channel. Like, that's so silly because it's like my favorite thing ever, like talking and giving you guys advice on this stuff. Like, that's why I started a podcast. But that's just an extra little sprinkle. So if you want to join that, obviously it's like free. You just like join through like the thing on my page on my Instagram at Trca. And then, yeah. But anyway, thanks for being patient on this week's episode. I'm sorry I didn't have one up last week. I'll be continually uploading now. I just want to be present with the fam. I'm sure you all understand, but I love you. I hope you have a blessed day and week, and we'll chat next week. Bye, guys.